What's up, everyone? Let's do a quick test here. I'm in a Generation 1 Rivian R1S. One of the improvements that was made for the Generation 2 is better sound dampening or reduction of outside noise inside the cabin. Not going to be able to get up to high speeds on this test here, but just to get a little bit of a sample of where we're at. In a parked state, the decimal reader is in the low 30s typically. Rolling at about 45 miles per hour. You can see we're getting about 57. So you can see as we accelerated, we got up to about 60 decibels on this meter. I'm going to go install some soundproofing and see what happens. One of the first tricks to do, and you have to do this at each individual door, not from the main control on the driver's side, but we'll start with the driver's side window. Do a half push to roll the window down, then let off the switch and press it again, another half press down for 10 seconds. So you see that the window just dropped down slightly further than it was before. And then do the same thing on the come up. And it may be easier to see here because you've got these logos on the window to indicate that it moves. Did you see that just move just slightly? Now if you go around and do that on each window, it'll help it secure itself in place slightly tighter. That's more of a window reset. So that can help eliminate some wind noise. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of weather stripping or O-ring in here. Close up this. And I'll go around and put a little throughout here. And we'll see if that makes any difference. So I got this 25 feet of this foam O-ring material on Amazon. It's pretty cheap, pretty basic stuff. You can get really any one of these from many different places. So if you just take a trim tool or a butter knife if you're brave and just stick a little piece in here. It's easiest to do it with the door open, and then I'll stick it down into this area here, and then I'll cut it right about here. Once that's in there, you can't even tell that it looks any different. The channel around the window is pretty easy, so if you just feed it into the groove a little bit, feed it down, you can just pull it all the way around and really tuck it in with your finger. And then just go around and do it to the back windows at the opposite side. Okay, so I've gone around and I've done all four windows, each of the A-pillar on each side. That roll of foam that I had was 25 feet, which is exactly enough that I also did around the windshield. I don't know if you can see that, but this part here, I've added some additional material all the way up each side. I've also done the window reset to each window after putting in the foam. And you see we can now get about 29 dBs in the cabin when parked. Back out on that same road. Getting about 55 dBs. Most of the sound is the motors, but there's obviously some wind noise that you can hear. While not a huge improvement, seemed like it brought it down a couple dBs. Again, hard to tell, not being able to get up to highway speeds on how much impact that'll have when you're going 80 miles an hour, but it's an option for helping to reduce the cabin noise slightly. Again, a lot of what I'm hearing for the most part is the motors making their noise. I also have no HVAC on and obviously not listening to music. So I do think that most of that will drown out any other noise that's in the cabin. For the most part, when you're just cruising, this dB reader that I'm using has it at the equivalent of a quiet office.